Am I the asshole for a text I sent in a group chat while in labor? Let's jump into this. I, 29-year-old female, gave birth to my third baby in November. The women in my husband's family, his two sisters, our sister-in-law, and his mom, and I have a group chat where we send pictures of our kids, share funny stories about our day, and in this case, provide updates about possible labor. On this particular day in November, at 37 weeks and 5 days gestation, I reached out to inform them that this just might be the day my newest baby decides to make his grand entrance. I had been having strong contractions since 5:50 that morning. Everyone except my sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, responded with excitement and praying hands emojis. Well, according to the nurses at the hospital, I wasn't dilated enough to be admitted, despite having strong and frequent contractions. This was at noon. I updated the chat. Everyone seemed concerned and asked if I still thought it might happen that day. I assured them it was most likely going to happen that day, judging from past experiences, but I would go home to labor in comfort. This is where I might be the a-hole. My sister-in-law, who also gave birth to her third baby a couple of months prior, via cesarean section, I am not judging nor think of her as less than. Context is key. Decided to text how glad she was that I wasn't in real labor, and that it's better for me to wait to have the baby another couple of weeks. She then sent a bunch of screenshots and links to articles about false labor and Braxton Hicks, as if I had never given birth before or experienced pregnancy before. I replied, mid-contraction, not to be bitchy, but this isn't my first rodeo, and I know how to Google things as well. And yes, I have been checked, and they will check again before deciding if I should go home or not. Well, I did go home, only to return to the hospital a couple of hours later and had my baby at 10:15 that night. My sister-in-law does not reply to me in texts and has since unfriended me on Facebook. Not that I really care about that. I just want to know if I was the a-hole for what I said. And, in hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have been texting in the group chat while in labor. So, Reddit, was I the a-hole? Edit. I meant to elaborate on the cesarean section detail, which definitely makes me come across as someone who looks down on her for it. I do not. Her first baby was a preemie, and she had an emergency cesarean section. Her youngest two were scheduled. The point I was trying to make was that our experiences with pregnancy and childbirth are completely different. I could have said that without mentioning the cesarean section fact. My apologies. Edit. A little more info about my sister-in-law and my relationship. She thinks she's the matriarch of the family even if she won't admit it. We recently moved out of state, only 2 hours away. A long drive, but not as long as they treat it. A few months before I gave birth. And she started cutting us out of family get-togethers and even created a whole new group chat without my husband and me. She is always shocked at how intelligent my husband is because he went to community college instead of a university, like she did. I didn't go to college. I saw no point in going into debt, and I didn't know what I would study, so I decided to wait. As a result, she often treats me like I'm unintelligent. I think the snappy text was probably long overdue, but it was poorly timed and shouldn't have been in a group chat. It wasn't the first time I had gone off on her in a group chat either. She singled me out a few months prior, questioning my ability to care for my kids by myself while my husband was away for a couple of days. Yes, in the big family group chat. So, I snapped back. My husband saw the message before I did and said, "I'll let you handle her." He had held me back many times beforehand to keep the peace. Like, I said, it was possibly poorly timed but long overdue.